I am looking through this website now. Fine.
There we go. Show starts soon.
I do like that they put a picture of the birthday card here.
Mm-hmm.
With the 9 on it and the cat.
Yep.
Oh, man.
All right, go live, man. Fuck it. What are we waiting for? Just hit the pre-roll now. We're here. Let's do it.
We're live. Officially. Nice. Welcome to Haunted Hangover Live. Episode number 7. We've done 7 of these, Manny. I'm joined by Manny, by the way. 7. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? 7 of them.
Planet Queen, the chance to dream. She used my head like an exploder. Planet Queen.
Yeah.
Same. I am to blame.
Oh, God. I love how you know all the words to that. But, yes, we're going to be talking about, we're doing one of our recently seen episodes here live. We're going to be talking about predominantly 2 big movies that literally came out this month, right? Yeah. One of them was earlier this month, and one was last week at the time of this
I've seen
episode.
them both in the last, 2 weeks, so, yes.
Probably 2 of the biggest horror movies to come out.
The most anticipated.
Maybe not the biggest. Probably the most anticipated is a better word to use. Horror films to come out this year, and that is MaXXXine and LongLegs. 2, I guess, kind of polarizing films, right? Some people love them. Some people are hating on them.
LongLegs is proving to be a little polarizing. MaXXXine, not so much.
Really?
No, I haven't. No, not polarizing. I haven't seen LongLegs. I'm seeing a lot of people loving the hell out of it, and I'm seeing some people saying just how boring. Oh man, that was garbage. This was way overhyped. What was this? And it felt that way with The Witch and Hereditary and Midsummer. Those are polarizing. MaXXXine, I feel like it kind of runs a spectrum. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people are okay with it. LongLegs doesn't really, seems like there's a lot of people on either side and very few in the middle, and that's kind of how Midsummer and The Witch are.
Yeah.
MaXXXine is okay, it's a cool movie. It's not great. It's not bad. You can kind of just dig it. People just dig it, but it's not like their favorite movie ever.
Yeah.
That's not polarizing.
I guess LongLegs of the 2 is the more polarizing because it's not everyone's cup of tea. So that's probably, I feel like MaXXXine is more the type of film that a wider audience can appreciate, where LongLegs, I'm sure there's people that left that theater and they're probably like, what did I just watch? What did I just watch? Before we dive into both of these films, right here at the top, spoiler warning, because if we don't say that, we'll slip. I know these movies are very new, so I don't want to mess everyone up.
Just get a neon sign. Spoilers coming.
Eventually, I will figure OBS out where I could
put it.
Yes,
have a ticker at the bottom.
Yes, spoilers will commence in 5 minutes, and then everyone will know when the spoilers are coming. But yeah, we're gonna have
I got you.
to talk about more so LongLegs. You gotta talk spoilers to really talk about the film, right? I feel MaXXXine, you can kind of dance around them because it's kind of got a big twist ending.
Yeah.
Where LongLegs, it's got a twist too, but it plays into the greater plot of the film.
That's how I'm going to do the whole show now.
What does that even say? What's on your forehead? Spoiler alert. There you go.
I'm going to leave it there.
Gonna just walk around with a Post-it on your head. That's
gonna leave it there.
Oh, just walk. The whole episode just have it on your forehead.
I'm going to find something to sit it right there and leave it there through the whole show.
Tape it to your webcam. All blown out and blurry.
Right there on the microphone.
But yeah, spoiler warning. If MaXXXine didn't tell you that right from the beginning here.
Yeah.
But before we dive into both of these movies, are there any other films? This is our recently seen. I've got nothing.
Tape
this
it
episode.
there. Spoiler.
There Spoiler. Can't even see Manny anymore. Are there any films you want to just kind of quickly run down? Any recent discoveries? I've got nothing. Been quite busy, so besides going to the theater, nothing really stands out right now. So
I don't know. What I saw Replicator last night.
I was not seeing it.
Pretty terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
Not seeing it then. Probably not
terrible.
going to see it. Okay.
Arcadian, also Nicolas Cage, that hit Shudder.
I saw that. Haven't watched it, but I saw that it's up there.
Decent. It's okay. It's standard apocalypse. It's in the realm of like Quiet Place type film. And that the Sandra Bullock one where she wore the
Bird Box.
Yeah. In the realm of that kind of movie.
Oh, I remember seeing the trailer. He has two sons.
Yeah, it's post-apocalypse and there's creatures that they kind of have to hide from.
Yeah.
That kind of film.
Okay.
I don't think it brought anything new to the table.
Okay.
You know, it was decent. It was not a bad movie. The creatures looked really cool. All CG though. So you kind of about that, but they did some interesting things with them. You know,
I'm sure I'll give it a watch eventually.
Yeah. If you like Bird Box, and what was the other one? The Silence. That was the one with what's his name? What's that actor's name?
I forget. I know what movie you're talking about. Yeah, I know what movie you're talking about. I forget.
Yeah. Like that. Quiet Place. Though it's in that realm. So if you like those films, and the other one with the girl and the alien one where she's in the house by herself.
Oh, that one I love. That was one of my favorite films from last year.
See, I wasn't crazy about that one either.
I Will Save You.
No One Will Save You.
No One Will Save You. There you go.
Yes. So. Yeah, that was. It's on that. It's not that type of film. It's on those. Yeah. If you enjoy those, give Arcadian a try.
Okay.
See, because like I said, to me, the best of those is Quiet Place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to you, the best of those has been No One Will Save You.
Yeah.
That's been your favorite of that group. So give Arcadian a try. Maybe that'll be somebody's favorite,
Yeah.
In that realm of film.
I did see the new Quiet Place, and we're not going to dive too deep into that one either, but I'm weird with that.
Yet.
See, I'm weird with that franchise. I dig the first movie. Thought the second one lost its luster a little bit, and then the third one, like, they're well-made, competent films, and I will never shit on any movie, but like that bad. But I just leave the theater kind of numb to what I just saw. They don't really impact. They don't leave me thinking or wanting more. I'm just like, all right, cool, and then I leave. Like, it's just like I have no desire to go back and rewatch the film. It's one of those. I kind of have a similar relationship, and this is not horror. Fix my mic here. This is not horror, but it's like the Avengers movies and all that Marvel stuff. So like, I mean, like, I'll watch them once, but I won't go back and sit there and watch them again. It's one of I kind of treat the Quiet Place movies. Funny enough, they're horror films, which you would think I'd want to rewatch them, but I don't have any desire to kind of go back. But the new one was good. It was decent. I guess I'll give that movie a shout out as a recently seen.
I'm gonna try and catch it.
It was cool. It's really kind of paint by numbers when it comes to those movies, in my opinion. Like, it's the same stuff.
It's the same thing, different characters and type. Like, if you dig the first one, you'll like the others just because of the situation.
Yeah, but the emotional kind of oomph that first movie had with the family and John Krasinski's character. I know he's the director too, but It's
Yes.
it's like I don't think any of them will recapture that magic. That was one film that did what it did. It's great. It's very well made. I've seen the first one a couple times, maybe 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
But like the sequel, I don't even remember the sequel. And the new one, who knows when I'll watch it again. I mean, the actors are great. Every actor in the film is phenomenal. It's just there's something kind of bland about them, I guess, or dull.
I can see it.
Maybe the
I see what
genre
you
is just maybe that genre of post-apocalyptic film, alien, whatever horror film is just not my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that style. I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure they'll make 5 more, and I will probably end up seeing them, and then
Yeah.
feel the
I'm
same
hoping
way.
to catch it
So,
before it falls out of theaters. I'm hoping to catch it. It's not. I wouldn't say it's not top priority, but if I miss it, I'm not going to be upset. Like if I missed LongLegs or MaXXXine, I would have been upset.
yeah. Well,
Like, I
those
really
are
wanna
more
catch
your
those.
style of film that you like
Yeah.
me, it's more what you're into.
And so as far as like upcoming, as far as new movies, I'm more interested in what's coming out.
Okay.
And that could also be because again, as we covered before, I did a lot of films at Overlook that are still yet to come out. Like Cuckoo
Yeah.
comes out on August 9th, and we talked about that a bit. I'm sure when that finally does come out, we'll recover that because I think you're gonna like it. But
I'm excited to see it, so.
based on the conversations we've had so far, like you're saying, like LongLegs is one of your top of the year. We'll get
Yeah.
we'll get
Yeah.
more into that. That's fine. But right now, Cuckoo is my top of the year.
Yeah, I haven't
That's
seen it
why I
yet,
figure
so
we're gonna,
yeah.
no, that's why I say
Yeah.
when that comes out, we're gonna end up covering this again.
No, for
we're
sure.
Gonna, we're gonna revisit this conversation. But as far as I'm more interested in what's coming out, I watched The Watchers, which was crap.
The Watch. Oh yeah, I had no interest in seeing that.
It was
so.
good for the first like hour or so, and it was one of those films where because they have a like a fairy tale lore to it.
Yeah, I remember I watched the trailer for it.
Yeah, it could have gone in multiple directions, and I feel like they picked the dullest possible direction in the end. The one that was just the blandest, the safest, the most boring, all the ways they could have gone with it, and just
Yeah.
fell flat. I was like, you got to be shitting me,
Watching that trailer, I could already tell. I was like, I'm probably not going to be into this movie. Is that Dakota Fanning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for it. I was like,
Yeah, Dakota Fanning, who's slowly morphing into Micah Monroe. Like,
yeah. I could see the comparison there.
like when I first saw the trailer, I thought it was like, how many Micah Monroe movies are coming out? And then I'm like, wait a minute.
She's in everything
That's
this
not
year.
her.
Yeah.
That's not, she is. Her and Dan Stevens.
Yeah, everything. Well, we said it previously. This is the year of Dan Stevens.
Year of Dan Stevens. But,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to Alien.
Oh yeah, that comes out in a couple of weeks.
I'm looking forward to Alien. Trap, I'm interested in. That's a Shyamalan again. I'm interested.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it. I might go see it and check it out.
Josh Hartnett's great.
Yeah.
Josh
No, of
Hartnett's
course.
awesome.
Yeah. And he's having a resurgence too. He's like popping
Yes.
up and stuff now. So
Yeah. My only issue with it is, okay, now anybody who's seen the trailer, and we haven't seen the movie, but just based on the trailer, something in the trailer where they say, when he talks to the t-shirt vendor and he says, what's going on here? He says, you heard about the butcher?
Yeah,
the butcher's, oh yeah, they heard that he's going to be here. And my first thing, I said, so they don't know who he is. How the fuck do they know that he's bringing his daughter here?
I'm gonna be honest with
the
you.
hell?
I don't think he's the killer, but they're marketing it to
No,
make
he is
you.
the killer.
Oh,
he
he
absolutely
is?
is the killer.
Oh.
Yeah. Because there's another trailer where you see him. He goes in the bathroom and he pulls
Okay.
up his phone and he's got a live video feed to the guy who's
Yeah.
tied up in his basement.
Okay.
And then he starts setting traps. He throws a bottle or something into the air fryer and it explodes.
Okay.
He sets off the fire alarm.
Yeah.
There's a second trailer where that shows him trying to distract the police. So it is definitely him.
Okay.
But I'm like, how the hell do they know he's coming here if they don't know who he is? How is that possible?
I'm sure the movie will explain it. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
I'm sure. But
So-
that's what I'm interested in. That's what
Yeah.
caught my interest. It's like, you don't know who he is, but he's taking his daughter to see her favorite singer. How do you know that? What intel told you that his daughter wanted to come here if you don't know who he is?
Shamalama Ding Dong will explain it. I'm sure.
You know,
I'm sure it's in the script.
It's funny that the movie's looking forward to. I have some that I'm really looking forward to. Again, Nosferatu, Heretic looks great.
Yeah.
You know, Salem's Lot, interested. 28 years later, interested. I'm gonna warn people though about one film, and this is going to be my last one. And then if you have anything you want to go, this is going to be my last one. Speak No Evil.
Oh yeah.
The original film is on Shudder right now. It's only 2 years old. Go watch that. I haven't seen the new one, but the trailer is shot for shot the same movie. The dialogue is the same. The shots are the same. It even looks like they use the same damn location. Like the house looks exactly the same. Go watch it on Shudder. The movie has great tension. It's told very well. It's in that. It's got that style of Who Invited Them, and like what's the one with the dinner party? There's a dinner party, and then there's the other one with the dinner party with the cult in the end of it.
Oh, The Invitation.
The Invitation.
That was really good.
Yes, it's in that style where this couple with their son is at another couple's house, and it slowly gets more sinister throughout their visit. They start to realize there's something wrong with their hosts.
Yeah, that's been done a couple times already. So.
It has been done a couple. Yeah. The tension is amazing in this, in the original. The tension's awesome. The atmosphere is awesome. The performances are awesome. But the two main characters are the most infuriating people you have ever seen on film in your life. You want to reach through the screen and smack the hell out of these people.
Is it really that? Are they really that annoying? I haven't seen the original.
No, they're not annoying.
Oh.
Spoiler, sort of. They have zero survival instinct.
Oh, so there's just not. Yeah, I get it.
They never fight back. At any point in time, do they fight back? And it is just so frustrating to watch these people just take this torture and the horrible things that are being done to them. Just take it and just wait. Like, thank you, sir. May I have another? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. The trailer for this new one with James, and I like James McAvoy, but I'm just like, I don't know. It doesn't really have much. I don't have much interest in it.
It took me a minute to realize it was James. It took me a minute to realize it was a remake. That's how close it was. I'm watching this. I'm like, I've seen this movie. And then I realized, wait, that's James McAvoy. This was a French movie. Yeah. It took me. That's how close it is to. So go watch it on Shudder. And if you liked it that much, then maybe see the remake. Because I'm sure it's not. If they're going to go shot for shot, it's not going to be the same thing. It's just not.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're even still remaking foreign films. That's still a thing, but
and it's from 2022. It's only 2 years old.
It's a newish movie.
This is a new film, a year and a half.
Weird.
Why didn't you just put the money into releasing it theatrically and leave it at that?
Yeah, weird to kind of just take such a contemporary movie. But
so that's my only warning. Go watch the original.
I don't even know, but maybe is it the same director? Maybe he came back and he's doing English language.
It's just possible. I don't know.
Maybe that's the only kind of
the only thing I can think of. Yeah, he's really directed
by the same guy.
The first one is directed by Christian Toftrup. Second one directed by James Watkins.
So no, he's not directing it. So that's that would have been the only defense, I guess, of why this movie's being remade and exist. But we'll see. Maybe the remake will be better than the original. Who knows? I have to watch the original before I see the new one. I'm not running to the theater to see.
Blumhouse Pictures developed the remake of the same name in April 2023. The film, it premiered in January of 2022, and Blumhouse announced the remake in April of 2023. Fucking 14 months later, they're already doing a remake.
Blumhouse is like, we're remaking this movie that just came. I guess they thought they could remake it and market it to a wider audience that in English with big actors. So
whatever. So that comes out September 13th. The original's on Shudder. I'm going to tell everybody, go watch that.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it soon.
Especially to remake something so soon and so like shot for shot. Like I said, it took me a second to realize it was a different movie. I'm like, I've seen this. I literally said that in the theater watching. I've seen this movie. It's on Shudder right now.
Well, there you go. We all know how Manny feels about Speak No Evil. So
That's all I gotta say. That's it.
moving on to the main. I've got nothing else. I saw some stuff.
If you have something else, go ahead.
A Quiet Place, was it Day One? I think is what it's called.
Yeah,
that was
Quiet Place Day
okay. I haven't really been sitting and watching. I've been kind of failing at my challenge of watching 366 movies. The list has grown, but really not by much.
I meant like 167.
You're doing way better than me. So that's what I'll tell you. I'm going to try to kind of get some time here and there to kind of catch up. I have to watch a couple of movies that came out this year so that when we eventually do our recap of 2024, our favorite films.
I'm doing well on that.
All caught up. I'm decent. I'm pretty good on that, but I gotta watch a couple more. I'm going to catch up.
I think I got like 38 or 39 from this year, like new movies. So what is my list at?
I don't know if I'll get to that number.
39 2024 horror films.
I'm going to at least watch all of the big ones. And then when we get to that point, I'll be able to at least know what films I loved throughout the year. At least 5 of my top 5 horror films of the year.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, let's just jump into which one should we start with first? MaXXXine or LongLegs?
Your call. Your call.
MaXXXine came out first. So let's start with that. Now, to introduce MaXXXine, I know Manny as well will agree with me. Fans of Ty West. We like his stuff. I will say I think his films early. So the interesting to rewind, I guess, or take a step back. I've always dug his stuff. Like most horror fans, love House of the Devil.
Yep.
I love The Innkeepers. I love The Sacrament. Went to go see that with you. I think it was like the New York premiere before it had even been released.
Yeah, the festival premiere.
Yeah. I remember we went to go see that, and he was there and some of the actors and stuff. Always been a fan of the guys.
My second favorite of his.
Yeah.
I really like House of the Devil.
Too. Yeah.
Then Sacrament. Yep.
Those 3 films, though, I've always really enjoyed. He made the Western, I think, In a Valley of Violence.
I love that too.
It was
I don't like Westerns. That's excellent.
It was a good movie, but I still say the core kind of 3 films that I love of his are House of the Devil, Innkeepers, The Sacrament. I think those are like the 3. Those are the 3 horror films that I feel it's Ty West at his best. And then I do find his career interesting because he made that in a violent nature, in a Valley of Violence. He made that movie, then sort of vanished for like a bunch of years. Didn't make any movies, and then surprised everyone with a trilogy of films in like a 3 or 4 year span, which I think is the most interesting thing about his career. To kind of go away for so long, it must have been over 5 years. To just now basically
2016 to 2022.
Yeah, so think he had a pretty long break.
That's 6,
making
7 years.
A feature-length horror film. And even horror was even longer because his last film was not a horror film. It was a Western.
Sacrament was 2013.
So look at that. So almost a decade since this guy made a horror film. So I was excited when X came out. Went to go see it. I had a good time with X. I really enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised to see at the end of that film, there was a teaser for Pearl, a prequel to X. I got really stoked because I really enjoyed X. Pearl came out. Dude, I loved Pearl. I like Pearl more than X. I'm one of the people that enjoys Pearl. I think it's a better film. And I do like X, so I'm not shitting on X. I like both of them. But I like Pearl more. I think Mia Goth's performance is better in Pearl. I think the look of the movie's better. The story's better. The script is tighter. I think everything about it, I dig it more, in my opinion. I agree. You know, most people do, I think.
At that time, I agreed.
Okay. Not anymore. We'll continue.
Yeah,
but then at the end of Pearl, once again, another surprise at the end credits, little post-credit scene, we get a teaser for MaXXXine, the 3rd entry in this trilogy. So I do like how he marketed everything, kind of teased the next entry in this franchise.
Yeah.
You know, back to the point that I waited at the end of MaXXXine's credits to see if maybe there's going to be an announcement for a 4th film, but there isn't. So he's taking a break from the MaXXXine character, I guess, for a little while. But when I did see that teaser trailer at the end of Pearl for MaXXXine, I was excited. I was like, oh, this is gonna take place in the 80s. You could just tell by the music choice in the trailer. I forget what song it was. The Hollywood sign, the fact that the original was in the 70s, it would make sense to jump into the 80s. This is the guy that directed House of the Devil, which is set in the 80s.
Different kind of 80s though.
Different 80s.
Very
I agree.
different kind of 80s.
I agree. But nonetheless, the guy knows how to bring
He does.
the 80s to life.
He does. Different kind of 80s though, for sure.
Dude, this was probably one of, along with LongLegs, which is why I wanted to do this episode, focusing on the two films. This was probably one of my most anticipated movies to come out in 2024. I was really looking forward to it. They released the first trailer. I was like, wow, this looks great. You see MaXXXine at the Psycho House. You see her walking on like Hollywood Boulevard and all the neon and all the lights, and very Giallo-esque with the slasher killer wearing leather gloves, and very Brian De Palma. You could see like all the influences.
Totally,
yeah.
100% Brian De Palma.
And I love and we'll get into it, but I love all those. I love the aesthetic of those films. So I was really stoked. So going to see it, and we're not going to get into the plot. This is just going to be us talking about each film. When I went into the movie about, catching up with the MaXXXine Minx character, seeing what she's been up to, I think it's a 6-year jump, if I remember correctly. She's like in her mid-30s or early 30s. And she's still making porn. She's getting this role in this horror film. She's trying to get out of the porn game to make a real movie in Hollywood and become famous, because that was the entire point of the MaXXXine character and Pearl's character. They just wanted to be a star, and they wanted to be this big, famous person. It's all about fame at the end of the day. So I do like the setup of kind of her trying to be a part of this film, and all these new friends, and her agent played by Giancarlo Esposito, and and then how her past would come back to haunt her. So the setup of the movie, I felt, was great. I loved literally everything leading up to a certain point. And I'm not going to say I hated the movie, because I did not hate the movie.
Yeah.
But at a certain point in the film, I felt that the movie started to take a dip, where it almost felt like we were getting hit with so much shit at one time that it felt almost rushed. And and we'll say it now. I want to get your thoughts, because I think you have more of a set in stone feeling towards this movie than I do. Because I'll say it right now, I have to rewatch MaXXXine. I still don't know how I feel about it. I wasn't blown away, but I feel like I might enjoy it on a second viewing a little bit more. I feel like there's things I missed. I've seen both of these movies one time. But when we get to the ending, and, all these murders are happening, she's, working on this set, and, she's getting, kind of these weird hallucinations and visions of Pearl coming kind of back to haunt her. And we're just catching up on all the cocaine and people being murdered, and Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, and I use that in air quotes because we find something out at the very end. When it got to the end of who the killer was, spoilers, when it got to the end, I already figured that shit out the first hour. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's her father. It would make the most sense because of how X ended, where you find out her father's the preacher on the television.
See,
and then... Yes.
I didn't... The father was a surprise to me because I forgot about that.
Which is, I think, a rough script.
Yes. I totally forgot about that the father had anything to do with anything.
Dude, as soon as
X. Forgot about it.
As soon as the movie started and there's that scene with her as a little girl with her father, I was like, the dad's the killer. I was like, it's got, like, who else would it be?
Yeah.
The only other character
forgot about the father thing in X. I should have rewatched X and
I
Pearl
watched
before. I didn't.
Yeah.
I
watched both before.
I watched X once. I've seen Pearl like 1.5 times.
Yeah.
Because she put it on once.
Yeah.
And I watched like half of it with her, So I forgot all of that.
Yeah, so it went over your head. You were like,
no,
what?
it didn't go over. I didn't go over my head. I wouldn't say it that. It was just that Oh, okay. The father. Hmm. What does that have to do
Yeah.
with anything?
You forgot that character existed for like
Yes.
5 minutes.
Yes.
And that was kind of my issue with the movie. So early on while watching it, I was like, okay, it's either the dad, it's not and they did one thing that I wish they
I
would have
knew it wasn't
changed.
going to be Kevin Bacon. I
No,
feel like
I
they
knew it
were.
wasn't him.
Yeah,
But
I
the
feel like
one thing
maybe they made it feel like maybe it would be, but no, I
I
knew it was.
wish they would have kept the sex of the killer a secret. Like they said, I think Kevin Bacon's character says he is because you could have easily made it more of a mystery with the
I could see,
director.
yeah, because you had the memory of the father thing in your
Yeah.
head. As soon as he said he, you said, "Yep, I'm right. That's it. It's got to be him."
Because
Okay.
I watched X and Pearl the night before.
Yeah, I
So
haven't watched. I watched X when it first came out on Blu-ray,
yeah.
so
I
it's
like
been like over a year since I've seen it.
I like doing
Right?
that when I
Let's-
watch. Yeah, it's probably been a while. I
I'll tell you
like
right
doing
now,
that when I watch one of these movies that's part of a trilogy or a sequel. I always go back and I watch the one before that for that reason, in case I missed anything or any small details. Even something as silly as like the Scream movies or the Halloween films, I'll go back and watch the last one if it had been a while. So it had been a while since I sat and watched X and Pearl. So I was like, let me sit and watch both of these movies.
Yeah.
And as soon as that opening scene happened and someone was killed, it's the dad. I said it's the father. And then the Kevin Bacon scene with him telling MaXXXine that, oh, my client, he's a very powerful man or whatever. There was like some lines like that. I was like, it's the dad.
Yeah.
The dad's the killer. And, you know, I don't want, it sounds like I didn't enjoy the movie because I did enjoy the film. There's some great set pieces. Her friend that's killed in the video store, it's a great scene. Her confronting
love that. That was-
I forget what actor he's dressed up as the alleyway scene where she pulls out her gun and then squashes his nuts. It's a great scene.
It's like Buster Keaton.
Buster
or something
Keaton,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That scene's great. The movie looks fantastic. It's a great looking movie.
It's gorgeous.
The set design, the production design, everything
Gorgeous.
is phenomenal. Mia Goth, fantastic. Kevin Bacon, great. He's fucking the best part of the
Kevin
movie.
Bacon stole the movie.
Yes, he's the best. I just say he's the best part.
He did. He
Giancarlo
stole the movie.
Esposito is great. Yeah.
Dude, is another one. It was the year of Dan Stevens. It's
Yeah.
a year of Giancarlo
Yeah.
Esposito.
Yeah.
I've seen like 3-4 movies with him
Dude.
in it this year. I'm so happy to see him because he's been so good for so long
Yeah.
and like totally overlooked.
Yeah,
I'm
of
so
course.
happy to see him popping up.
And what I love about him and Kevin Bacon's been doing this for years
Well,
now.
Kevin
but,
Bacon's always been awesome. He's
Yeah,
always been
he's always been great.
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. He's
Of
in
course.
everything amazing.
But Giancarlo, what I love about Giancarlo Esposito is he's coming into these movies now, these genre films.
Yep.
He's becoming a character actor. He only needs to have like 2 scenes and he steals them. You
Done.
know,
That's
like
it.
like
That's
I
it.
like so like I'm watching like I just watched the last season of The Boys. I like that show. He's in 1 episode. He's fantastic. He's been in previous seasons where he has more
Yeah.
prominent role.
Yep.
But this season, he's in 1 episode. Spoiler if you haven't seen the rest of the season. And he's fantastic. So it's
He's
like
in The Boys. He's
Yeah.
in MaXXXine. He was in Abigail.
Yeah,
and I
he's
think
great
he's
in
in this other
Abigail.
movie, Megapolis. I don't know what this is. Megalopolis.
Yes.
I don't know what this is, but now I want to see it just because he's in
because
it.
of him.
That's
See,
it.
So
He's in it.
you
Look at that. It's a good Adam Driver,
Oh, that sounds like
Giancarlo
a- yeah.
Esposito, Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf, John Voight, Jason Schwartzman, Talia Shire,
Oh, wow. What movie
Lawrence
is this?
Fishburne,
Interesting.
Dustin Hoffman, James Remar, DB Sweeney.
Okay. That's a,
The
that's a-
fuck, dude! I
what
gotta
movie
see
is this?
movie.
I gotta watch this trailer.
Megalopolis.
Yeah, never. Oh, I
Directed
did hear.
by Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, I did hear about it. It's a science fiction film. Yes, yes. But going
I'm
back
sold.
to
I'm
that's
sold.
it.
I don't even want to know what it's about.
Who cares
I just
about
wanna see
MaXXXine?
it.
Let's just talk about that movie.
Sorry,
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. But yeah,
I got
like
excited.
so my whole thing with, like I said, to go back to the cast and like the good things about it. I think Mia Goth, I think MaXXXine as a character is surrounded by great
She is.
actors. I forget the
And she
the
holds
director.
her own, which was great to see.
Yeah, she does.
She doesn't like. It's not like Kevin Bacon is up here and she's kind of here.
No.
She did a great job next to everyone. She held the movie very
I
well.
think she's great. Like
Yeah.
she's another one. The last couple years, like I loved Infinity Pool, and she's great. And even the Suspiria
you know what
remake,
it
I
is?
thought she's always Nymphomaniac. She's always been good.
What I've been thinking though too is that she's never had. I don't feel she's always been this
Supporting,
big. No, not even
yeah,
supporting, but yes, but she's always been this very big character.
yeah.
So like in you just said it, the Cronenberg one.
Infinity Pool,
In Infinity Pool and Suspiria,
yeah,
she's always been this big character actor. In X and Pearl, she was a very big character.
yeah,
So she didn't have like straight scenes. She had performance
yeah.
big.
I know what you
So
mean.
even when she's in a scene with other great actors, she's just so big and over the top. You're not really comparing her to the rest of them because she's doing a real performance.
Yeah,
Maxine, she's playing it straight. She's a normal character. She's a human being. She's not a caricature like she was in Infinity Pool. She's
no,
this
yeah,
kind of lunatic that's off the
yeah.
hinges. Maxine, we're actually given a chance to sympathize with her character where she has to connect with the audience. And I think this is like the real first, real true like test of her weight on screen. And the fact that she shared the screen with Kevin Bacon and Esposito, and the scenes stayed strong.
Yeah, but
She wasn't
I
like the
will
weak
say,
link.
and I agree with you, but I will
Yeah.
say I feel like Maxine, the film
Mm-hmm.
itself, isolating the one movie, the supporting cast kind of outshine her at times.
Well,
When comparing it to Pearl, where
well,
I feel
she's everything.
That's
But
her.
even in Pearl, she's huge.
Yes,
She's
of
a
course.
very big
Yeah,
performance in
it's
Pearl.
a different.
She's
It's
not
a
very
subtle.
big. Yeah, she kind of slowly goes mad through the course of the film. Maxine, she's back and forth. She has a lot of ups and a lot of downs. The character has wins and losses. Pearl, it's just this constant state of going crazier.
Yeah, you know what I always loved about the two characters, and this is to kind of go back to, and we'll go back. I want you to share your thoughts on the movie, but what I like about the movie when you compare like the Maxine character and the Pearl character, and what I like about the whole trilogy is Maxine's not a good person.
No.
She's not like the character is very flawed, and she's not the antagonist of the film, obviously, because you've got killers and other people.
Yeah.
But Maxine as a human being is not a good person. Like that's
No,
basically she's the protagonist. You're following her. You're kind of rooting for her, but she's not. She's kind of trashy. She's kind of willing to step on people to get what she wants. She does
Yes.
have an edge to she's willing to kill someone. She says it in
Yes.
the movie, in Maxine, which is what I like about the Maxine character. The Pearl character is way more sympathetic. And I think when you watch Pearl and then you watch X flip, when you watch Pearl first and then you watch X, you feel for the older Pearl even more. And you're not really rooting for Maxine. So it's weird. I always I would recommend people go back and kind of watch them in a different order, like Pearl, X, now Maxine. Because in reality, I feel like that's kind of the story I guess he was trying to tell, where you would do anything for fame. You would do anything. You will hurt people. Not that Pearl was a good person either, because she also murdered people. But I feel like there's just a certain sympathy for that character where it's like she was pushed to that. It's weird. It's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain because I think like
No, I get
when
it.
you watch,
I hear what you're saying.
yeah. So it's interesting. But yeah, back to you. What
I
did
totally
you
hear
think
what
of
you're
it?
saying.
The whole movie.
Okay. I dug the film. It is my favorite of the trilogy.
Which I'm surprised, but okay.
Well, I think that it could be number one because of the aesthetic of it, the Brian De Palma, the 80s style of it, the visual
Which
style
I love
of
that
it.
stuff too. So
No,
don't get me wrong,
of
yeah.
course. But I think that went farther for me. You know, X, when I first saw X, I was a little disappointed because I enjoyed it, but I was disappointed because I expected more. I thought there was more to this. I was expecting it to be a little more brutal and a little more in your face. Um, I thought there was too much of the Pearl character in the first movie. Like we got
Okay.
into, and that's clearly because he planned on making the Pearl movie.
Yeah.
So I get that. Then I watched Pearl, and I thought it was better than X.
I
Like you
agree.
said, it's a more solid film. It's a better story. It's a lot more straightforward, and it's the decline of one character.
Yeah.
And like you said, you sympathize with her more.
Yes.
The audience, he gave you more to work with as the audience in Pearl, not work with, to connect with, than he did in X. X is just a bunch of kids making a porno, and then they're going to die one by one. It's like, okay, it's a slasher film.
Yeah, that's
It's
basically
a
what it is.
Texas Chainsaw
Yeah.
style slasher film, if you call Texas Chainsaw a slasher film.
Which it's not technically, but
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you call it, it's that Texas Chainsaw style slasher film.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pearl was definitely the stronger of the two films, you know, but I liked the story of X more. But the film of Pearl, like the actual progression, the filming, the performances, the connecting to Pearl was just better.
Yeah.
It was a technically better film than X, but the story of X interested me more just because I'm more into that style of films. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
It's not it's a better movie. No, just me personally. I liked the aesthetic of X better than Pearl, but Pearl was just a better film. Okay. It seemed like a more mature filmmaker of Ty West. Now I watch MaXXXine. And MaXXXine is more in that typical Ty West style. Ty West is like, for lack of a better term, he is the Tarantino of indie horror.
I can see that.
He wears his influence heavily on his sleeve. You can see what he's referencing. You watch his films and you say, oh, that's Texas Chainsaw. Oh, that's Dressed to Kill. That right there, that's The Omen 2. Like you can see where he got his influences for the scenes, for the shots, for the lighting, the pacing, everything. It's all there. You see that he's a student of film like Tarantino, and he does that in his indie horror. Nothing is 100% original, but he's good at taking all his influence and creating something original. So that's why we watch MaXXXine, and you see elements of Brian De Palma,
Yeah, of
heavily
course.
Brian De Palma. But I mean, in all honesty, there's Pretty Woman in there.
No, there's everything. Yeah.
There's Basic Instinct in there. It's got the Brian De Palma early 80s feel, but it's also got that like early 90s erotic thriller feel. Because it's got that smoke on the streets of LA and hookers walking down and working together, and the old video store. There's a whole lot of elements of all of it put together. And I think that's what made me like this one better. As far as the story goes, once I finished once I finished MaXXXine, I actually enjoyed X more.
It made you appreciate the previous installment. Interesting.
Yes, because it was a direct connection.
Yeah.
I saw the through line. And now, until you just mentioned it about the father at the end, I said, shit, I forgot about that. Now I'm going to go back and watch X again with MaXXXine fresh in my mind, and think of it as one solid
It's
film.
even the same actor. They didn't like recast. It's the same guy.
Okay, that's even better.
Yeah, I went on IMDb and I checked, and it's the same dude.
Wow.
Like it's the
That's
same
even better.
actor. Yeah. So
Now, here's where my negative comes in.
okay.
Is the fact that because it made me like X more, it dropped Pearl down a notch.
Yeah, I remember you told me
Because
this. You texted me
here's
this.
what my problem was. Yes, I told you. My problem with the trilogy as a whole now is that Pearl has almost no reason for being here. The film. It is a standalone prequel. What disappointed me about MaXXXine was I was expecting some type of direct connection from the character of Pearl to the character of MaXXXine beyond just them meeting in X.
I'll be honest. The movie feels like they cut a lot of stuff out of it. Like watching the movie, like the editing seems a little off while watching it.
Okay.
Like when I watched it, like I felt like
I
was
get
like
that, but I can see it.
Like
but
some of the, I feel
time.
like some of the death scenes were kind of cut out. Like there was just certain aspects I felt like they got rid of. I don't know. It just felt a little.
That sort of thing happens. I
no,
mean,
of course,
like
of course.
Story wise, in and of itself, I just feel like, what is the reason for having Mia Goth play both characters if they are not directly connected through their stories, their families, something other than the two of them crossing paths in X? What is the reason for her playing both characters?
There is no
Why
reason.
do they look the same? Why are they identical characters? Like Pearl, you see how she looks in Pearl, and she makes a very big point in the original in Pearl that she hates blondes, and MaXXXine is blonde. Why did you do that? What is the connection? And it really frustrated me at the end of MaXXXine that there's no connection between these two characters beyond the bloodbath and X.
Yeah, it's hollow. But that kind of is what my issue was with. I guess that's a better. You're articulating it better. Where it's like there's some, and I know you liked MaXXXine the most, but I just feel like there is something missing. Yeah. I just can't put my finger on it. That's kind of the whole point. There's some like when I left the movie, I was like, I should have liked this more. I love the 80s aesthetic. I love that stuff. I love Blowout's one of my favorite movies, and that's a Brian De Palma film. And that you can see how that movie
is that really one of your favorite movies? Really?
It is one of my favorite movies.
It's a good movie. No, it's a good movie.
I love Nancy Allen, John Travolta. I don't know. There's something about that movie that I find like
great combo. Yeah,
it's a comforting movie. It is a good movie. Weird to explain. Yeah. But yeah, Brian De Palma Blowout. I was like, all right, I can see, like you said, the little fog on the streets and the neon signs, and
it's there.
Nancy Allen's a prostitute in that movie, and all the ensemble cast. It's like all these trashy people. It's all there. But there was something missing in that last, I'd say, half hour of the film where I was like, where is this going? Okay, it's her dad. Okay, he wants to make it.
It actually bugs me more because thinking about that, now it's like the fact that they connected her father. Okay, her father's at the end of it, at the end of X, and now she, basically he's the crazy guy in MaXXXine. That bothers me even more because it's very simple to say that through the course of her life, Pearl joined the father's cult.
Yeah.
Pearl married the father. Maybe Pearl is secretly her mother. I was expecting some type of connection like that. Like, what does the character of Pearl have to do with the character of MaXXXine? And what is the fate that caused them to cross paths?
She tried to kill her. That's the only connection.
Yeah, and that is so like vapid. That's so empty, especially
that was my problem. That was my issue, I guess,
when
you
have the same
MaXXXine,
actress play both characters. It's like, why did you do that other than I just think it's cool? And
that's what MaXXXine feels like. That's what, to me, the movie feels like. This is cool. We're going to give her a car with a license plate that says MaXXXine.
I'm okay with that.
Listen, I get that.
And again, the overarching arc, though, it's like you can't just say because it was cool when you make 3 movies out of it.
You want the trilogy to have a purpose. What's the purpose of these 3 movies?
And on top of that, he's teased that he wants to make 2 more. He said that he has ideas for 2 more.
I think he's going to make The Puritan, the movie within a movie.
That's what I want.
I think that's what he's going to make. Yeah, I think that's
what I want to be.
I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to do. He's going to make.
Those would be, as much as I love these 3, The Puritan 1 and 2 would be better than these.
I could see him casting. He
just goes all out gore fest like.
I could see him casting Mia Goth as MaXXXine Minx, playing the character in the Puritan. So it'll be like
100%.
that's how he'll tie it in.
100%.
It's a movie. You're watching a narrative, but MaXXXine is playing.
100%
I could see him do that. The fact that there's like a fake trailer, we see scenes from the film in it, and there's other actors playing. I could see that. I think
happening. when the Blu-ray comes out, there's going to be a lot of the stuff from the Puritan on the Blu-ray. Like you'll be able to watch like a 10-minute version of the Puritan.
Yeah, like I said, I liked it. It's one of those films, one of the rare times where I left the theater telling myself I have to go back and watch that movie to better gauge how I feel about it. I dug it. I dug aspects of it. I wasn't enamored. Like when I left Pearl, I was like, wow, that was fucking amazing. That was great. Like I
didn't see X or Pearl in the theater.
I saw both in the theater.
I missed them both. I was upset that I missed them both too.
And like X, there were moments in X where I was like, holy shit. Like when the old Pearl tries to shoot her and then she flies back from the kickback of the shot. Like there were moments like Jenna Ortega getting her head blown off randomly. Like, there were moments in X where I was like, oh shit, like horror moments that we were like, god damn, when she's getting the hammer to the Jenna Ortega gets beat up in that movie. You know, the director character when he gets his head cut off by Pearl with the Chelsea Wolfe music playing and all that. So like there were moments in that movie where we were like, oh shit. I felt MaXXXine outside of the ball crushing and like Kevin Bacon being smushed in a car, the press thing.
Cool scene.
Yeah,
very
cool scene. There wasn't any like, oh shit moments, in my opinion. I kind of was just like, okay. I don't know why I felt a little numb watching MaXXXine. But nonetheless, I did enjoy it. I do want to see it again. This is not a negative review on my part. This is not me saying it's a bad movie because it wasn't a bad movie. It was a well-made movie. And I like Ty West. I like all his stuff. So I am a fan of his movies. But I just left wanting more, man. I don't know. I got to watch it again. Maybe
even Cabin Fever 2. You love all his stuff. Even
funny enough, I don't think I've never seen it. That's the only one I've never seen. Yeah, I've never seen it. Never had any interest to watch his Cabin Fever.
I have Triggerman. I have the Triggerman DVD. I got his stuff, you know. I have the Roost on DVD.
Cool. I still say, dude, House of the Devil, Innkeepers, Sacrament. Those three those three films to me are like those are the movies that I think.
For me, it's House of the Devil, and then the Sacrament. Yeah. For me, it's House of the Devil, The Sacrament, and In the Valley of Violence. Those are my top 3 Ty West films. You know,
and we're gonna jump into LongLegs now because we're here all night. But the one thing I'll say about him as a filmmaker, and I don't know I don't know if it's him. He was so young when he started, I think, and now he's getting older. But his career,
so young when he started, he's like my age.
Well, you're still young too, but I'm saying, he was like 21 years old or something when he made his first movie, which is crazy to me. But nonetheless.
Really?
No. I think so. I mean, he was in his early 20s or something like that. Nonetheless, his movie.
I'm curious now. I'm gonna look it up.
There's a certain feeling like Innkeepers, House of the Devil have that his new movies are so polished that there's a certain atmosphere that the older films had that these new movies don't have, and I don't know what it is. It's very odd. I will continue watching what the guy makes because I do dig his stuff a lot. So. No complaints here. I'm buying a ticket no matter what it is.
He is literally my age.
Okay.
He is 5 days younger than me.
Okay, there you go.
5 days.
Well, I think The Roost was like 2006 or something.
2005, so he was 25.
Yeah, he was relatively young guy. He's been making movies a long time.
Yeah, House of the Devil 2009. Cool. So he was 29. So he was 2 years younger than me when he made his second feature when I made my first.
He's
I'm with that. I'm okay with that.
He's been making movies a long time, and funny enough, his filmography isn't that stacked, but he's made a bunch of movies. So whatever, I'll watch whatever the guy makes. I enjoyed MaXXXine. I just wasn't blown away by it. Moving on, LongLegs, which came out a week ago. Now. I will admit, and before we dive into the actual movie, I remember watching that first trailer where you hear the audio of, I think, a father on the phone I think, talking to like cops or something, like 911 dispatcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he says, "That's not my daughter. It's
Yes.
not my daughter." And you just see
Yes.
this eerie crime scene photo of bodies, and there's like a weird third appendage that shouldn't be there. And it was so no wait.
That's what everybody said, but it's
I
not
know.
true. Yes.
And everyone was very ambiguous. You had the
Yes.
weird code, no title, and I was like, whatever that
What
was,
is this shit? Yep.
what is this creepy shit? Then they released another video and another video, and the hype that I had once I realized what it was, starring Micah Monroe and Nicolas Cage, and then Oz Perkins. I did really enjoy his film, The Black Coat's Daughter. I was like,
I just got a Hansel and Gretel poster. Gretel and Hansel poster. I just framed it today. It's in our living room.
That I only saw that once. That was cool, but I really like Black Coat's Daughter. I thought that
I did too.
That was really.
But I didn't
movie.
get a Black Coat's Daughter poster.
Yeah. So nonetheless,
I was given a Gretel and Hansel poster. So
that was good too. That was
yes,
good.
it was great.
But I was excited for this. I was like, oh, this just the graininess to these photos, the atmosphere that these teasers are not telling us what's gonna happen. You know, when you looked at the MaXXXine teaser, you knew where this movie was going. You kind of had an idea. LongLegs, for a long time, they didn't show any shots of Nick Cage in character. They didn't tell you what the plot was. You knew it had something to do with a female detective chasing a serial killer, and
they kept calling it Silence of the Lambs,
which you
they
got
kept saying
the
it was
vibe.
like Silence. I think it was more like Seven, personally.
Which
I see the Silence of the Lambs vibe, but yeah, I think it was more in common with Seven, than Silence of the Lambs.
But the marketing, I can't think of another horror film, and Neon, who distributed this, they did a great job.
Blair Witch Project. That's it.
That's probably the last movie. Cloverfield, which isn't horror technically, but it's genre.
No, but that was this immersive.
Yes.
That they made everything, because the trailers had stuff that was not in the movie.
Yes.
So you watch the trailers as their own standalone thing. And what we were talking about during the pre-roll of the show here today, there's a website that you go to. Mm-hmm. You know? You want to continue, and then we'll get into that. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to just say that the marketing for the film, the marketing for the film was great. So when I finally got around to watching the first trailer and seeing shots and seeing kind of like the teases, because in the original teaser and even like the first trailer, it was like you saw Nicolas Cage's chin and like the white hair, and
they had the trailer with her heartbeat.
Yes,
and they blacked out his face because they didn't want you to see it.
And I was like, what the hell is this guy going to look like? And I was like, it's Nick Cage. And we all know Nick Cage can get nutty in his performances.
Yeah.
So I was like, I already knew this is going to be a crazy performance coming out of him. This is going to be something psycho. Like, he's going to be like Mandy. Like him screaming, yelling. I knew that was coming. And it does come in the film. So I was really stoked. I also, didn't know much about the movie like most people, so you temper your expectation. Wait until you see the movie. And I will say, before we even get into it, just kind of our overall feelings, dude, when I left, and this is a different feeling, that's why I wanted to talk about MaXXXine and LongLegs together. When I left the theater after watching LongLegs, I wanted to go back. I was like, I can't wait to watch this movie because of how much it kept me. I was thinking about it after I left the theater. I love when movies do that to me, where I'm like, I know if I watch this a second time, there's going to be stuff I missed. There's going to be Easter eggs and little things hidden on the clock, on the wall, in her house. There were small details that I'm sure were sprinkled throughout the film that none of us noticed because we have only seen the movie one time, unless we went to the theaters a couple times.
The rewatch value is there. It's like a video game. You play it the second time and you can go down different hallways and you find new stuff. It's just totally going to be one of those movies.
And funny enough, the last movie that really gave me that, and it's another movie I love, and funny enough, Micah Monroe's in it, It Follows. After I saw It Follows, and it's the only movie I could use a reference for because she's in it too, it left me thinking about it. I was like, wow, this is this movie, it's not a masterpiece, but there's so many moving parts in it, and it's such a well-crafted film that when you watch it a second time, you're going to pick up on different things. And It Follows has that too, where you see people in the distance. You pick up that it was her father the second time you watch it. There's just aspects of that. What happened?
I can't tell you how much I'm waiting for Cuckoo to come out so I can start talking to people about this movie.
So it's coming.
For that exact reason.
Later this summer, we'll be coming back for Cuckoo.
I loved it so much. But exactly how you're feeling right now. Yes.
So LongLegs has that. Like, and I think that plays into viral.
It totally does.
Into the viral marketing, hiding Nicolas Cage, creating these websites, creating these teasers that were 30 seconds long with creepy, voiceover. That one number you could call and you could hear Nicolas Cage's voice.
I called it as soon as
you told me about it. Yeah. So like everything up until that point, I was like, this is gonna be a good movie. The director, everything. Yeah. And again, dude, the movie itself, the way it's shot, the performances, Micah Monroe, it's such a kind of it's a mundane role. It's sort of it's not a high energy role for her.
No,
but that's not what I don't think she's not that type of actor. But she's great in this.
Go ahead,
but
I'll get to mine in a minute.
No, but with her performance, and I'm gonna talk about Nick Cage in a second. Mm-hmm. Her performance, when you watch it, you're like, something is off with this girl.
She's very robotic.
Yes,
she's weirdly robotic.
It plays into the ending, the twist ending.
I mean,
I think
it does. I'm not. No, I don't.
It's very much like Clarice, like Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs is sort of always on, like she's a detective all the time. So that's kind of I think what they were trying to do with Micah Monroe.
Jodie Foster is one of the greatest actresses.
It's also Jodie Foster, can't compare, but you know what I mean.
One of the greatest she is
understand.
Phenomenal. She has never had a bad performance.
Oh no, dude! I was one of the few people that loved the last season of True Detective because of her. I thought I haven't seen
great. Any True Detective.
But
I haven't seen a single episode of that show.
I dug it because of her. I love Jodie. It's Jodie Foster, dude. Come on.
Yeah, and that's why I want to watch it, just to catch up because of Jodie Foster. I'm like, I want to watch that.
But to go back to Micah Monroe, I think she's great too in this. And
she's pretty good.
What I love about LongLegs is this was a movie you could tell was meticulously crafted. Shots, the color grade, the performances, the blocking, the set design. Not saying that MaXXXine wasn't, but you could just tell.
We're not comparing the two.
No,
we're not comparing the two.
I'm not trying to do that.
No.
But you could
just different movies.
Tell, dude, that this was a meticulously, like Oz Perkins, dude, every aspect, you could see the director in control making the movie. You could see it. And that's what I like about him and his films. You could tell this dude.
He's very deliberate.
Yes, he is controlling the entire film. So I love that about the movie. Now, Nick Cage in this movie, it's outlandish as hell, but I think it's Nick Cage. It is so bizarre. He almost comes off as an alien in this movie. He's like an alien. So
I watched him in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I haven't seen that yet.
It is. My review is just this. Nicolas Cage playing a semi-schizophrenic Nicolas Cage going undercover as Nicolas Cage while trying to find the Nicolas Cage that Nicolas Cage used to be. That is what that movie is about.
I have to watch. I still haven't seen that. I've wanted to see it when it came out, but I didn't see it. But in this movie, dude, he is, and like I said, he's become a caricature of himself. Like he's in video games now as like Dead by Daylight. You can play as Nicolas Cage.
As Nicolas Cage. Not a character, but as him.
As him. So it's like he's become such a caricature, and he's just Nicolas Cage
and he's
now.
Cool with it. Yes. And he's totally cool with it. He understands it.
But here's what I think is so awesome about him and this performance as LongLegs. It's somehow, and in my theater, dude, when he starts, so there's a scene where he starts singing, the singing scene.
in the car.
No one laughed, dude. People were like, "What the hell's going on?" And
I did.
No, I chuckled too because it's Nick Cage. So
and that was my problem with the film.
Yes.
We'll get back to that.
But he is so ridiculous in this movie. And it's such an alien performance that for me, maybe I'm in the minority, it worked so well. Like, I just think the contrast between her and that great interrogation scene right before he bashes his own head.
That was
Dude,
great. Yeah.
He is so creepy in that scene. It works so well. And her being so drab and dry and just trying to be a detective in detective mode and it not phasing him. And then him literally saying, "Hail Satan," and then bashing his own head in. Dude, that scene, phenomenal. Like, I just thought both of them in that scene is what sold the movie to me. And I was just like, this movie's great. And I even like, dude, even his reveal, it takes time for them to finally show what he looks like. It took time to build up to get to that point.
From a year down, yeah.
So I loved it, dude. And I love the ending, and sprinkle it here. You find out that her mother, who she has a weird relationship and a strange kind of relationship with, actually is assisting LongLegs in these murders. And there's some supernatural elements pertaining, and I gotta watch it again to better gauge some stuff I missed. But there's, Satan, occult stuff, and some supernatural elements involving these dolls that possess these families. And I loved it, dude. What's your thoughts on LongLegs? I can't wait to hear this because I have no idea what you're gonna say.
So this was my number one of the year, other than Cuckoo. When the year began, LongLegs and Cuckoo were the two that I was looking forward to. And as of right now, Cuckoo's still my number one.
Yeah, you told me that.
And I kept saying to myself, LongLegs is the only film that I think could possibly unseat that because I loved that so much. I was so excited for this. The movie theater where we have the festival, they have LongLegs posters. They have my name on it. So when they are done, that poster's coming to me.
You already claimed it.
It is my poster. They have two of them. One of them's mine. LongLegs is my poster. Already claimed it. I was excited as hell. The trailers and everything and all that stuff. I liked the fact. I enjoyed the fact that there were things in the trailers that did not exist in the movie.
Yes,
so
I
it
like
became
that too.
this like immersive experience. I said we talked about there's a website. I'm gonna real quick because I don't want to dwell on this forever, but I want to tell whoever's listening, thebirthdaymurders.net. This is
we were literally looking at this right before we were done, before we started going live.
This is an in-character website where somebody has compiled the police notes and the police photos. It looks like you're looking at an old website from late 90s, early 2000s, where it's just a bunch of stuff. And it's all the police crime photos and somebody explaining with 38 kills to his name. LongLegs has torn apart the lives of 11 different families. You go through that, the Clover family, the Prendergast family, the Wormwood family, the Hess murders, the Angstrom family. As you go through it, somebody compiled all the evidence and they're telling the story. So it's a true crime website circa 2002-ish.
Well, the movie's a period piece, but they don't shove it down your throat. It takes place in the 90s, but they don't tell you what. It's like the Bill Clinton era, so like mid-90s is kind of, I guess, what they were alluding to.
Exactly. So this is something that's taken in that late 90s, 2000s era when people were just making their own GeoCities or Angel Fire websites. And it was just a bunch of text with a couple of photos. At the bottom of one of the websites, there's a bunch of zip files. I've downloaded them. I wanted to go through them, and I just didn't have a chance before we did this. They are all password protected except for one, which means you're probably going to have to go through one to figure out the passwords for the others. I'm thinking as you look at them, you'll see that there's a code. He writes in a code like the Zodiac killer in the film. Micah Monroe decodes it. So I'm thinking that you're probably going to have to see her code and figure out the codes of the film of these files, and that'll be the passcode. Fine. I don't want to get into this too much because I really haven't read it.
Neither have I.
Really read,
I just found out about it right before we went live. So
exactly. I've had this sitting open on my screen for 2 weeks, but I've been so busy between the festival and other things that we've been doing. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and look at it. So
Yeah.
anybody who's listening right now who saw Longlegs, no, you don't have to get to see it because this was clearly out before it.
Mm-hmm.
ThebirthdayMurders.net. Just go over there, take a look at it, and scroll through this cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to the film. All of this hype. Holy crap. I was so excited for this film. And I loved it, but not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Like,
I think that I fell for
that was
some
the
of
first thing you
overhype.
told me. I remember you were like,
Some of the, it felt a little overhyped. I was
okay.
like, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I was expecting it to be a lot more violent, not like crazy slasher violent.
Yeah.
I was just expecting more like just disturbing violence or like something like Seven.
Yeah, you really only get the aftermath of all the murders.
Precisely. I was expecting to see some of the murders and follow him a little bit more.
I think the interrogation scene where he bashes his own head into the wall is like the only gore. Like
that and the family in the
you
end.
can see it, and the family at the end. Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's it. I was expecting more like Seven to follow him through the kills.
Okay.
You know, that we'd have more of him. We'd be going back and forth between the two of them.
You don't really follow Longlegs that much. He's probably in total, probably like 15 minutes of the movie, maybe even 10. He's not in. It's spread out. I can compare it to like Beetlejuice in the original Beetlejuice, where he's only in like he feels like he's in the movie more because they stretch out those 10 minutes to an hour.
Well, there's like
40
three
minutes.
scenes really with him, and one of those scenes is just cut up through the course of the film.
Yeah.
Where you get farther and farther through that scene because it's a memory. My issues with it were I enjoyed the film for all the reasons you said.
Yeah.
I agree with all of them, you know. But the areas where I didn't like it and things that I kind of disagree was, okay, so again, I was excited to see what he looked like. And then when we finally did see his face, I said, he looks like a Botoxed plastic surgery victim.
Which is, I think, what that was the vibe they were going for with it. Yeah.
Fine. But that's not what I was like. He just looks like some weird guy who got a bunch of plastic surgery in LA in the early 90s. He looked like Bruce Campbell in Escape from LA, right? It's Bruce Campbell, right?
Yeah, it is Bruce Campbell, yep.
He looked like that. That's what he reminded me of. His like this swollen Botoxed face. And I'm like, what is creepy about that?
Yeah.
It bugged me. He looked like some loser that got a bunch of bad Botox.
Which I think was the point. Like, there's a couple of scenes where there's like, you know, you see him obsessed with like T-Rex.
Yes.
And what's his name? Velvet Underground. Lou Reed.
Yes, Lou Reed.
Pictures of Lou Reed.
There's a Lou Reed. Right in the beginning, I said a Lou Reed poster. What is this?
And then there's like and I think that was the point. They wanted to show you that this one guy who looks like a loser and is pathetic is actually extremely dangerous. Because
that's not fucking creepy to me.
See,
that's
there's
not
that
creepy
one
to me.
Scene
that's my problem.
where you see him. There's that one great scene because he looks pathetic before the interrogation scene where he's holding his luggage, just standing there.
Like waiting for a bus or something.
All the cop cars just show up and they capture him. And I'm like,
and he does that.
They wanted him to look pathetic, but he is dangerous.
That's where my problem with it was, because that was John Doe walking into the police station in Seven saying, "Detective, you're looking for me." That was creepy and scary as hell when he walked in and his fingertips were cut off and he's covered in blood and he just detective and then he yells detective.
It was I get where you're going.
This guy means business. In this, they did the same scene, but it was like it had none of the effect. None of that. I'm like, he's just standing here with his bags like a loser. I said, is he waiting for a bus? And then the cops are coming, and I literally said out loud in the theater. Now, I spoke out loud in the theater a couple of times, but the theater we were in was like stadium seating.
Okay.
But like really extended stadium seating. So there was like a whole row and then an entirely separate row. It was only 5 rows of seats in the entire theater. So it was a lot of space between it. It was a smaller theater, but it was full on stadium. Like people behind us physically couldn't see us because of like the wall that was behind our heads. So if I spoke, Nobody was going to hear me because
Yeah.
there was only maybe 10 other people in the theater. And anyway,
Yeah.
but I said it out loud. I said, is he waiting for a bus?
Yeah, I
And
think
then I
so.
started, and then the cops are on the other side. I said, he's just going to stand there and wait for the cops to show up? What is going on? I was like, he's going to stand. I found it kind of funny.
Yeah.
That scene you mentioned where he's in the car and he starts singing the T-Rex song.
Yeah.
It was like, as you said, he's almost an alien performance. It's not like you look at this as like, how the fuck is that Nicolas Cage?
That
Until
was, I think,
scene,
what they were going for, though. I think that's
no.
what he wanted.
That's
Yeah.
what I liked. I loved that he chameleoned into the film. It's like, dude, what the hell? That's not even him. That can't be him. Until the scene in the car, and suddenly he's singing, and suddenly, what is this? That's the birthday. All right. Suddenly he's singing The Planet Queen.
Yeah.
And I said, fuck, it's Nick Cage.
Yeah, no, he does morph into
and
Nick Cage in that scene.
Yeah.
I get
was
that.
all sold on this until that moment. I said, oh, there he is. There's Nicolas Cage.
And I think
suddenly this isn't a movie anymore. I'm watching Nicolas Cage.
I think that happened because we're two people that love Nicolas Cage and we just see it. So I tried.
I can't help it.
I can't help it either.
There were two scenes that did that.
I know there's people like normal, like regular folks.
I know most people found it creepy and terrifying.
As hell. Yeah. So
Yes.
like I was with someone that on the way to the theater was like, why do people hate Nicolas Cage?
I don't get that either.
That's the general public. But like if you're into horror, genre, old movies, you love Nick Cage.
I still don't get it. Again, I don't care if you're not into them. He's fun.
He's great.
He makes movies fun. He's so much fun.
So to me, seeing him in this role,
yes,
as outlandish as it was, it elevated the movie and it gave it a certain energy. Because otherwise, I felt like it would have been relatively, regardless of me loving everything leading into it, the mystery behind it, him popping up from time to time definitely woke you up. You were like, what the hell? What is going on? Yep. What is this leading to? And you really don't find out until the last 30 minutes of the film where he reveals, that he has an accomplice. And then you start putting together the pieces with her mother.
Well, Micah Monroe's character knew that early on. She's like, there's got to be someone else. There has to be someone else.
Well, she
just kept saying it and no one was listening to her.
Well, you knew because he gave her a birthday card and didn't even hurt her. Like he snuck into her house, left a birthday card, and
that's
out.
My other issue with the film. That's where my other problem comes in. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut, but that's where my other problem comes in. Exactly. You pointed it out right there. Is there's a lot of leaps of logic in the film in the early like half hour. They kind of jump to a lot of conclusions, and I didn't care for that at all.
Yeah.
Like, she's psychic. Where did we prove that she was psychic? Number two, why is she, once you go to the beginning and then you connect it to the end, what are the chances that she was assigned to this case? How is that?
I mean, my only defense of that, and that's only going by his previous films, is like there's a lot of like dream nightmare logic in his stuff, and it's like supposed to be odd and weird. He makes those not to, again, whatever. Maybe I'm defending the director.
No. It's fine.
I feel like there's a lot of that in his stuff where we're overthinking these small details that in reality. It's a movie. Like not everything, and I love when movies are more ambiguous and not everything is spelled out for you.
I don't expect that either.
I always joke on the show about like children's programming and things where I'm like, oh, but how did this happen? How did that happen? And that's just a joke. But in reality, when you watch a film, when you watch a movie, or even some TV shows, not everything has to be spelled out for you. And I feel like with this, with LongLegs, that was the point. Why was she on the case?
I can kind of agree with that,
but
I just feel like
that important,
some of it was like, we made a lot of jumps in logic. We made a lot of jumps. It was like, come on. What
you mentioned his appearance. Why does he look Botoxy? It's never explained.
It's intention. No, it's not.
You gotta just think of your own kind of backstory that he's like, I read an article that they said he's a failed rock star. That's kind of the vibe they were going for with him. But
Because I think he's got a guitar. He's got a case and a guitar.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have picked up on that, but I don't think it's that vital of a detail, in my opinion.
It's not. But because he does have a guitar case. I'm pretty sure that when he's standing there, he's got the suitcase and the guitar case.
That's why he's singing and doing all that weird shit, too.
And I get that. Yeah. And I get that. My issue was the leaps of logic. It's okay. So there's a moment where they're explaining this to Micah Monroe, and they say, "Well, he clearly worships the devil." And I said, "At what point did you establish this?"
There could have been more occult stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
Stuff like that. They're telling you things that they did not establish in the film, and it's like, where did that happen? Where is the satanic element in these kills? We didn't see it.
Yeah, they kind of, that was probably my only,
in my opinion. Telling you this feels lazy. It's like, show it to me. Stop telling and show. This is a movie. It's a visual medium. Show me the satanic elements of these kills. And even when we get to the end,
with the doll and the ball, that silver
there's
sphere.
no satanic, unless they specifically say it. If you just watched this, if you were a cop coming onto a scene, that this is what happened, there is zero evidence of a satanic murder in any of these kills. It does not exist other than them and him saying it. So until they caught him, how do they know that he worships the devil? It does not exist in his kills, period.
No, I agree. That's an aspect of the movie they could have.
And that bothered me. And that's because I'm really into occult films. I like cults. I like satanic murders. I like that. I love that shit.
This is very subtle in that department.
It's very not, even it's subtle to the point where it almost doesn't exist. Non-existent.
It's like the dolls, the sphere with smoke in it, all that. None of that is explained.
Yeah,
and unless I missed it. So
no, it's explained. It's kind of explained when they tell you. Yeah. But the cops have no context for this whatsoever because it hasn't been explained to them. So why do the cops think it's a satanic message? Like there's nothing satanic about it. And that bugged me. That's why I say leaps of logic. Like the cops came to a conclusion when there's no evidence of that conclusion, and that bothered me from like 10 minutes into the film.
Yeah.
And because I caught that right at the beginning, I caught it through the course of the rest of the film. And that's really all that bothered me. Otherwise, I did love it. I thought it was a great film. I feel the way you do about MaXXXine, where I need to see this again. It needs to give it, even my Letterboxd review, I said I liked this, but I got to gather my thoughts on this because I just feel like I just need to see it again.
I think
before I can make
I think it's going to be I think on a second viewing, I think you'll like it more. It feels like one of those movies you watch it a second time, you appreciate it more. I think.
Again, because of the hype too, because it was very hyped up.
Again, I knew it was really hyped up, but I didn't really fall into that camp. I was hyped for it, but not because of other people's influence.
I think I did. Yeah. I fell into the hype real big time.
I'll be honest.
I was real excited about this.
I didn't even watch all the trailers. I saw a couple of the viral ones that were really short, and then I stopped because I didn't want to be spoiled. I think I watched the one main teaser.
Yeah, I think I only saw 2 of them.
Because I didn't want to ruin it for myself. I just to kind of like wrap it up and to be more positive, because I don't want us to come off as like curmudgeon-y guys here.
Yeah.
With
no,
this.
Not curmudgeoning about it. I loved both films. I really liked them both. But because I liked them, I'm like, they both could have been better.
Yeah.
I felt they both had missed opportunities.
I liked LongLegs more than MaXXXine, and I don't like to compare them because, like you said before, they're different types of movies. Yes. I already know, and the year isn't over. We're only like kind of halfway there. We're in the middle of the year. I have a feeling that LongLegs will be high on my list. Right now, it's my favorite movie of the year. I can't wait to buy it and watch it again on stream. Like, I'm excited to watch it again. It's one of those movies that after I saw it,
you said it's in your top 3 of the year so far.
It's right now, and I don't want to say what they are because I'm going to save that for when we do that next year. But
well, I guarantee it's going to change because I have my list on Letterboxd of the things as I'm watching them. I'm putting them in ranks, and in all honesty, things are changing as the year goes on. As I get farther away from a film, I start to wonder, like, how do I still feel about this versus another film?
Yeah.
It's a sliding scale.
And think
As
about
of
it.
right now,
Yeah.
LongLegs is my number 6.
Yeah.
My top 5, 4 of them you haven't seen yet because they're not. Well, one
They're
of
not
one
out
came.
yet.
I don't think
Yeah.
you haven't watched Invested yet.
I'm gonna watch it soon though. Yeah.
That's fine. But 3 of them, they're not out yet.
Yeah.
So that's why I say your top. I feel like your top may change if these come out.
Yeah.
You know, whether or not this tops them, I don't know. But we have a lot of great films coming this year.
Oh,
too.
dude, I'm stoked
I'm
for
s-
Cuckoo.
I'm so excited for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
There are some really, really great films.
I could tell you right now.
Seemingly great.
I don't even know if MaXXXine's in my top 10 right now. So
It is number 13 for me right now.
I don't know if it's in mine. And that's
Number
crazy
13.
because I like
Yeah.
Ty West movies. So imagine.
And I
Nonetheless,
still haven't seen Immaculate yet either.
yeah, I'm going to watch that soon too because I have to.
I thought you did. I thought you
No,
said
no.
that. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm catching up. I saw the TV Glow, Immaculate, and Infested. I have to watch in the next week or two. But LongLegs high on my list. I loved it, dude. I can't wait to see it again. I want to watch MaXXXine again because I want to really cement if I love it or not. I still don't know. I enjoyed a lot of it.
It's understandable.
But there was some of it I didn't like. LongLegs, confident. I really enjoyed LongLegs. I
did too.
Dude.
No, I totally did too. I said it's
We're
my number
literally
6
flipped,
of the
dude.
year.
I think the way you feel. No, okay.
No. My LongLegs is number 6. MaXXXine is number 13
Oh, so yeah, LongLegs is
of the
pretty
year.
low on the
Yeah.
list,
No, I agree. We're on the same page.
MaXXXine's not even in my top 10. Yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
it's not. It's number 13. It's not my top 10 either. We're in agreement.
Yeah.
LongLegs is a little lower, but that's why I say it's because I've seen movies that haven't come out yet.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I think that maybe we're a little different on it, just because I think Cuckoo is.
I can't wait to see that.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
hyping. I'm hyping. Don't say any. I don't know anything about that movie except for the one trailer I saw.
Leave it that way. Just
Do
leave
not,
it that way.
Yeah, I am hyping myself up for that one. So
August 9th.
yes, it's coming. We'll probably jump back on here and do an episode.
Dude, I'm gonna go
talking
see it
about
again. If I can, if I have time, I'm gonna go see it again.
Yeah,
100%. I'm gonna see it again.
I plan on seeing it the weekend it comes out. So
Yes, it is a theater movie for you and everybody else. It is
Yeah.
a theater movie. It is an assault on senses. You need to see it in the theaters.
I can't
Yes.
wait. But to kind of close it out here, I loved LongLegs. I liked MaXXXine.
Yeah.
I need to watch MaXXXine again. I have to watch LongLegs again. I dug them. You like both of them too in reality.
Yes.
You know, we both
I'm
like
in agreement with you.
So
we do. I think our negatives are where we disagree.
yeah,
You-
which is
there are
the
certain-
fun part of this.
Yes,
So,
that's fine. But
yeah.
we both loved it, and that's great. They were both great films. I think 100% people need to watch it and see for themselves because they are very specific things. Both films.
They're
are
niche
very
films, dude. They're niche.
They are.
They're very niche, both
yes,
of them.
I totally agree with that.
I think
Yeah.
general audiences will go into them and leave just saying what the fuck to both of them. So they're both those types of. If you're a genre fan, of course you're gonna love one of them
Yeah.
at least. But like I said, I feel like when we do our recap in a few months, we will be going back to these films and kind of doing like a little addendum, kind of what we feel.
Because I also,
6
especially
months
with
later,
the way
5
with the
months
way things
later.
are now, they'll probably be released to home video or on a streaming somewhere as well.
By November, both of these will be on something. So.
They'll be on something, I'm sure. So we'll watch them.
Yeah.
We'll see them again at least.
But yes, everyone that did join here and there, I saw a couple people come in and out of the chat and of the stream. Thank you for watching. If you're listening to this after the fact, thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe. Manny needs coffee. He's a little tired, I can tell.
No,
day.
that rum is hitting me. That rum is hitting me. I want to stand up and get all like, whoa.
We're wrapping it up here. Please subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Haunted Hangover. Head over to hauntedhangover.com for links to everything, including our Patreon page, where we have exclusive bonus content, access to early episodes of the normal podcast, all that good stuff. And as always, remember, the best cure for a hangover is
more booze.
Manny drank too much of his booze. I already finished mine too.
It.
I finished mine like an hour ago.
Just ice. Yeah, just ice.
Catch you guys later. There he goes. Got your little Satan, I think.
My Necronomicon.
Spoilers.